Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Pompero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the post, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh!
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. You can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Yeah, that used to be my handle. But it's not. I'm kidding. It used to be one handle, but thanks to some hackers, here's what happened. So at Facebook, I'm at Shawn Sierra, some numbers afterwards. On Twitter, I am at ShawnSierra33. But I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I'm at the Shawn Sierra. Okay? Frustrating. But I digress. And we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in a thread. We'll put it up on a screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Oh, my man, Mr. Southside himself, Michon Walls in the house. What up on a hump day? Oh, man, Cornelius Squalls in the house. Morning, Shawn, Sports Zone is Cornelius. Listen, we got a great show for you at 9:30. We got a busy show for you at 9:30. My man Jason Palmer is going to join us. We're going to talk a little Chicago Sky basketball. The WNBA draft was the other day, and I'll tell you what, the Sky, in addition to their offseason moves, have the Sky have traded one very marketable, possibly disgruntled superstar for a playoff potential team. This team they got is nice. Nice. Mr. Smokefella himself checking in. Ben Mo, man, what's going on, brother? What, you playing hooky today or what? I ain't mad at you if you are. It's a beautiful day, bro. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Cue up you too. It's a beautiful day. So Jason Palmer's going to come out at 9:30 talking WNBA, and then at 10 o'clock, my man E.J. Snyder. You know, I love having him on. He's a NFL draft analyst. He's going to come on. We're going to talk what the Bears, what you feel or what we feel, what he feels the Bears are going to do. We're going to go over some of the defensive tackle candidates for the Bears at 25. We're going to go over some edge rushers who could be available at 25. We're going to go over some safeties. So we're going to go over a lot with EJ. I'm excited to have him. You know, I have him on every year at this time. And I just like the work he does. And a big fan. He's been rocking with us for years, probably 5-6 years now. And I appreciate every time he gets a chance to come on. Ben says, no, at work, in my office, tuning in. Damn, dog, I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Nice. So with that, let's get it crack-a-lacking, baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show. Every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's go, baby. The first top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? We'll start off here. Big night on the South Side yesterday. Big night. Unfortunately, my good guys, the White Sox fall to the Tampa Bay Rays 8-5. Noah Schultz, local star, he got the start. His major league debut yesterday. He got the loss. He's 0-1. He went 4 1/3, 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. One was due to an error in his part of the first inning. 4 walks, 4 punch outs. But I'll tell you what, after that first inning, he settled down and he showed some flashes of why he is the number 1 prospect in their system. All right, there were about 200 people there from the Oswego area yesterday. The Oswego East High School baseball team, the entire baseball team was there. They actually had a game out in Joliet, so immediately after the game, they went down to Sox Park, and then a lot of people from the high school were there. It was just a great time. His parents, I should say, his mom and dad, his siblings. It was really, really cool. They interviewed them during the game. It was dope. What a great feeling. Like I said, he was a little shaken, had some nerves to start, and it's understandable. All right? It's understandable. All right? It's understandable when you're making your major league debut, okay, and you got a lot of people in the stands. Okay, struck out the first batter he faced, which was dope. Okay, and people thought, oh, man, we got someone. And he had a couple of innings, but, man, Tampa does it, man. They bunted. They put pressure on the defense. Exactly what I talk about, what I want my White Sox to do is put pressure on teams, on their defense. But after that first inning, as I said, he settled down. He looked good. I didn't get to watch it live. I had to watch it recorded. It's Memorex. No, I had to watch it. I had something came up yesterday, so I couldn't actually. I was actually supposed to go to the game, and something came up, and I couldn't go to the game, and I couldn't watch it. So I recorded it and watched it, and I liked some of the things that I saw. How that young man was dealing. Liked how he was dealing. Let's keep it moving. The next top of the morning topic, the White Sox, they host the Rays again tonight at the Rays. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Net Plus or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 a.m. The probables for tonight's game for the Rays. They're going to toss out Jesse Schultz. He's 0-0 with a 0.00 ERA. Going up against Sean Burke for the Southsiders. He's 0-1 with a 3.60 ERA. Next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. Man, the Cubs. Man, they brought out the whooping sticks yesterday. Boy, the Cubs beat the Philadelphia Phillies 10-4. All right, Colin Ray, he got the start. He got the win. He's 2-0. Okay, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks. Carson Kelly, see there, he's 2 for 4 with a homer, his first, driving his 5th, 6th, and 7th runs of the season. Ian Happ was 2 for 5 with a double, his 4th, driving in his 8th on the year. Alex Bregman, Cub fans, how happy are you? Alex Bregman, some of the big names. Alex Bregman, 3 for 5 on the night, 3 ribbies, 7th, 8th, and 9th on the season. And Nico Horner, 2 for 6 with another 3 ribbies, his 11th, 12th, and 13th ribbies of the season. And I know it had to be a huge sigh of relief yesterday for you Cub fans. You got Alex Bregman with a couple of hits and 3 RBIs. Okay, you have Nico Horner, 3 RBIs. All right, he's 2 for 6. Ian Happ. Okay, even goodness gracious, why is his name evading me? PCA. For the craziest thing, I don't know why I couldn't think of PCA. I have no idea, but that's funny. PCA was 2 for 4 yesterday as well with a double, his second. So could it be the start of something big? I don't know, but I'll tell you what. For a night, I know Cub fans were very happy with the production for some of the big names. Right, you got multiple hits from big names. As I said, Bregman, PCA, Horner, okay, Ian Happ. Okay, you brought out the whooping sticks yesterday. So staying with that, the next top of the morning topic, the rubber match. The Cubs are in Philly. Oh, man, I hate when I do that. There we go. That's much better. I hate when I don't. The Cubs are at the Phillies for the rubber match of this series. First pitch is at 5:40 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 104.3 FM or 670 AM, The Score. The probables for tonight's game. For the Cubs are going to try to Shota Imanaga. He's 0-1 with a 2.81 ERA going up against Jesus Luzardo for the Phillies. He's 1-2 with a 6.23 ERA. Keeping it moving. The next top of the morning top with the Blackhawks, baby. The Blackhawks are in action for the final time this season. They host the San Jose Sharks tonight at the United Center for the season finale. Puck drop is at 7:30 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. Keeping it moving. And in line with our first guest at the bottom of the hour, my man, Jason Palmer. The next top of the morning topic, the Chicago Sky in the WNBA draft, They draft this young lady, Gabriela Jaquez. First round with the 5th overall pick. This girl just led the UCLA Bruins to an upset win in the national championship game over Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. This girl is legit, 100% Mexican. And I feel this one. I feel this one. Mexicans don't usually, they don't have a big presence in the sport of basketball. And that was one of the things that really motivates her, is to make Mexicans and Hispanics take up a bigger space in the game of basketball. All right. And this girl is no freaking joke. No joke. As evidenced by her leading the way over Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. So the first round pick, they took Gabriela Jaquez with the 5th overall pick in the second round. Okay. With the 22nd pick, they took Latasha Lattimore. She's out of Ole Miss. Power forward. Okay. Probably replacing Angel Reese in that position. Okay. And then in the 3rd round, they drafted a young a point guard out of Kentucky, Tony Morgan. So we got a point guard, we got a shooting guard, we got a power forward in this draft. Happy for the girls. In addition, let's keep it a buck. All right, they've made some big time improvements on that Chicago Sky roster. I am very, very happy with what they have, who they traded for, who they signed in free agency. All right. Dejounte Carrington, Skylar Diggins, traded for Rakia Jackson. All right, they drafted Gabriel Yaquez, Letitia Lattimore, Tony Morgan. Azura Stevens is back. Don't forget, they still have Haley Van Lith, Courtney Vandersloot re-signed here. They still have Maddie Westfeld from last year, and Elizabeth Williams is back as well. So they have a nice little squad. These young ladies have a nice little squad. I'm happy that they are finally going to be worth watching again. All right, after they won the WNBA title, they really haven't been worth watching. Keeping it a buck. My man checking in, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. My man Junior's in the house. What's up, buddy? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Picro de Gallo. Here comes Jay Grizz checking in, posting up profanity. What are you doing? Don't be putting that nonsense up, bro. What the hell? Jay Grizz checking in, saying go Cubs. I can tell you where they can go, damn it. Thanks for tuning in, boss. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Good to see you. But I'll tell you what, I was happy about the draft in the WNBA. I was happy with Noah Schultz. I mean, listen, Noah Schultz, if you expected him to come up and fan 20, come on. It's a youngster, a local kid, just got called up last week. Was it Thursday or Friday? He got told he's coming to the bigs. A lot of hype surrounding him. He knows it. The organization knows it. The fans know it. His family's in the stands. A lot of his high school baseball team is in the stands. A lot of people from his high school are in the stands. There's a lot of pressure. And he showed what youngsters tend to show, just some jitters. It happens. But after that first inning, when he settled down and he threw 33 pitches, guess what? You saw why the White Sox are really, really high with him. Now, let's hope we don't trade him to Boston in like 5 years. Right in the middle of his prime. Like we did Chris Sale and Garrett Crochet. Two big, huge, fireballing left-handers. So is that what we have to look forward to, is the trade, the countdown to trade Noah Schultz to the Red Sox? Oh, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Oh, my man, checking in. Rick Gonzalez in the house. What's up, bro? Thank you for tuning in. It says, hola, amigo. FGB. FGB. What? FGB. I agree with you. It's always, like DJ said, it's always F the Packers. It's always FGB. Always. So what's really funny is, so there's a girl in my class, in my CrossFit class. She was there today at 5. She's from Wisconsin. She's a big Green Bay Packer fan. But because I'm a White Sox fan, and she's a Brewers fan, you know, and I love giving my Cub fan shit, I'm like, I call her Heather. Her name's Heather, and I call her Heather B. I'm like, Heather B. Her last name doesn't begin with a B, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm like, Heather B. I'm like, what's up, hon? How are you? Good morning. I was like, hope you guys have a good day. I says, thank God it's not football season. She's like, I know. I said, I probably wouldn't talk to you during football season. She goes, yeah, I know. I'm like, but since you're a Brewers fan, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend, well, we're friends. So during baseball season, me and Heather are cool. We'll fist bump before a workout or after a workout. Good work. All right, but once football season comes, you're dead to me. Dead. Oh, man. Hey, listen. Let's get some of the pleasantries out of the way. Let's not forget. All right, make sure you get your Sports Zone Chicago swag. All right, before you know it, football season will be here. It's April 15th. All right, but man, before you know it, The draft is what, next week? The draft is next week. Get some of your Sports Zone Chicago gear. All right, then mini camp, OTAs, then mini camp, and then training camp. And there she goes. All right, get your Sports Zone Chicago hat, Sports Zone Chicago hoodie, get your FGB shirts, your Coaching Matters shirts, your Cigar Fanatic shirts for all my cigar smokers, your Bear Victory Monday. We're going to have a lot of Bears victories, so get your Bear Victory Monday shirts. Get the blue or the orange one. Get your Good, Better, Best t-shirts. Okay? Get your Good, Better, Best hoodies. As you can see, Mashawn already has his FGB orange hoodie. Again, I can't thank you enough, Mashawn, for supporting your guy. And, of course, get your regular FGB t-shirts and hats. So, get them, baby. Get them. Get them. So I'm fired up. We got a lot to talk. And then the Cubs. You back in town, Jay Grizz? Stop it. Yo, SuperBack. I'll be at the Sox Diamondback game Thursday, April 23rd. You back in town? Oh, snap. Jay Grizz. Oh, no, you're going to Arizona. Oh, damn, dog. I thought you were coming here. I wish I could meet you in Arizona. That'd be a nice game. Nice, bro. Nice. No, April 23rd. So the White Sox are at Arizona. The 21st. Hold on. Let me see. Stop it. All right. Let me double check. Because that's throwing me off. No, April 23rd, they're in Arizona. So Sox and Diamondbacks. They're home Friday against the Nationals. Yeah, it has Thursday night. They're in Arizona. Double check, bro. Ooh, that's crazy. Either way, bro, we'll try and link up. All right, we'll try and link up. That'll be dope. That'll be good stuff, man. Good stuff. But Cub fans, you have to be very, very happy, even if only for one night. Okay. Oh, you said my bad. Friday versus the Nationals. All right. I was like, all right, hold on, player. Let me see what I'm doing that Friday. See if I could make it out to that game. And they're giving something away. They're giving something away that game. I gotta find out what it is, and because I was thinking, I kind of wanted to go to that. Let me see. The 24th. I know I could swear that they were giving something away on the 24th. I could swear. I'll figure it out. But yeah. We'll figure it out, bro. Like I said, we'll try and link up. That'd be dope. Back in the shy, baby. Would you get a pass to come on the south side? Is that what it is? Or call your Mount Carmel people, say, hey, I need a pass to come hang out on the south side again? Is that what it is? I'm just busting your balls, bro. You know how we do. It's all love, Jay Grizz. It's all love. Well, listen, here's what we're gonna do. All right. We're going to take a quick break. All right, I got to get the warden off to CrossFit. She's not in a good mood this morning. When I woke her up, she looked at me. And I woke her up. If looks could kill, I could have sworn about 8 daggers came out of each eye when I woke her up this morning. Oh, man. But let me get her off the CrossFit. And on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy, Jason Palmer. We're going to talk about the Chicago Sky. And I'm a little excited. I think I might go to a game now. I was going to go to a game last year. But I'm a little more comfortable going this year with this team, the team that they have. I know Angel Reese is a marketing magnet, but as far as the team goes, they got a really, really good team. So I'm excited for that. All right. So keep it locked right here. My man Jason Palmer on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean,
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
And a bit of bad luck. Fly ball left field, going back. Marsh turning, looking off the top of the wall. Coming in to score is Michael Bush. Bregman to third, and Happ just missed a homer. And the Cubs are within 1. It is 3-2. Hitting the ball hard at good angles. Line drive, and that's a base hit, and that's a good angle. It's going to produce a run. Here comes Dansby Swanson, and Alex Bregman an RBI single. We're starting over. It's 3-3. Fly ball center field. Crawford is back. Crawford back some more, and it's gone. You were saying.
Yeah, why not, right? Why not?
Carson Kelly out to deep center field, and he picks up his first homer of the year. And that may be the knockout shot. 10-4.
Well,
welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those were the Northsiders. Open up a can of whoop ass on the Phillies in Jay Grizz. In a city that Jay Grizz inhabits, Philadelphia. As I said, the rubber match of that series is today. Big win for the Cubs. They turned on a power switch. 10 runs yesterday for the Northsiders. But more importantly, it was a lot of the names, the big names that she had. PCA with a double, with 2 hits. Excuse me. Alex Bregman, Nico Horner. Starting to get guys, some of the big names that you wanted to start hitting and producing, produced. Okay? And let's remember, someone's going to say, well, say I didn't hit. Listen, you don't. First of all, you're not going to have all 7 or 8 guys hitting on a hot streak at one particular point. Nor do you want them. You don't want 8 hot guys in a batting order. You don't. Because just as 8 guys, when they get hot, guess what? They might get cold. All 8 will be cold at the same time. And then it's Chicken Little, the sky is falling for you Cub fans. Get 3 or 4 guys who are hot. Let those guys cool off. Another 3 or 4 get hot, okay? While the other ones are cooling off, then the other ones can get warm again. It's cyclical. All right, just be happy some of the big names, some of the big contracts were getting multiple hits yesterday, multiple ribbies, and that's what you want for your team. Oh, man, Black Diamond's in the house at the top of the morning. FGB. Shawn, 2 first-round picks, but knowing the Bulls organization, they'll screw it up. Booker World, you're a damn fool. He said, I came in right when Shawn said 8 hot guys. I was like, what the hell is this show about today? You're a damn fool, boy. I'm telling you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Listen, we're gonna bring in our first guest. Good friend of the program. He actually was on the program, on the network for a long time. He was the co-host of the What's Up Cuz podcast, and he'd been covering the Sky since their inception. 47 years ago, it seems like. He is, again, great friend of the program. You can find him on Twitter at Jay Coyden. That's JayCoyden. Right, former Sky beat writers. Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports, my man Jason Palmer. Jay, what up, man? How are you?
Woo! I'm doing great. Shawn. How are you doing? Did you survive the storms? We had storms here in Wisconsin last night.
Really? No. Because they missed me. Remember, I'm on the other side of the world from you. I'm in Orland, so I'm way south. And I was watching it last night. I was watching the Doppler effect on the news, and it was going like the North Shore and up that way. So yeah, we missed it. There was nothing over here. Oh
man, it was a light show up here, baby. It was a light show and thunder. I didn't know which god to pray to. Thor, what was the god of lightning? Thor. I was like,
Thor.
Lord. Right. Oh man. Tornado sirens went off. I had to run in my 80-year-old neighbor's basement. We had a nice 20-minute conversation about life. So it was very interesting times up here in Wisconsin last night, Shawn, and glad everybody didn't look like it was any loss of life or any injuries due to the storms here in the Lake County, Illinois, and here in Southeast Wisconsin. But it was some interesting stuff to see going on when Mother Nature decided she gonna put on a show.
Oh, so it happened up on the north side too. So my guy King Booker World said we caught it over here in Logan Square, and up by Harlem and Higgins, where my guy Junior lives. He said we were in the store. My dogs were terrified. So apparently they got caught up there in the north side. But again, I'm on the other side of the world, man. I'm on the south burbs, southwest burbs. We didn't get anything last night. Bro.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad everybody's safe. I'm glad the dogs are safe. I know they were like, what the hell is going on out there? Because I know dogs and cats be freaking out when that stuff happens.
Yeah, they do.
Under the couch. So, wow. So, yeah, man. But, speaking of storms, man, the Chicago sky. I mean, think about what you were talking about a little less than 2 weeks ago when they dropped the bomb. They had traded Angel Reese. And, everybody thought the sky was literally falling.
Literally.
When they did that, they lost 6,000 people on Instagram. People were cursing the GM out, said we want new ownership. Like they were going after Jerry Reinsdorf. It was a lot going on in Chicago over the sky, which, I saw the good in that because I think it shows how much more popular the team has become, that people were actually passionate and cared, Shawn. Because like I say, I've like you said in the intro, I've covered the sky since their inception. And there were times when it was like me and 2 other journalists at the game, and we could have conversations amongst ourselves and actually hear each other because there was nobody else there. I actually covered a game one time. They did a pregame at Chicago State University to just show, how they were lacking fans and just a presence, a footprint in this city. But I think, when they brought Candace Parker in, and that team over those 2 years, they were able to win a championship. And the next year they made it to the playoffs, didn't win the championship, but they made the playoffs. I said then they had finally arrived in Chicago and that it was going to be up to this organization to keep the fans engaged, to keep a competitive team out there on the floor. And the sky dropped the ball on that. They did.
Big time.
Why
do you think so, Joe Jason? Why do you think they dropped the ball? You had. I mean, think of Elena Deladonna, Kalia Copper. They wanted the title. They won the title. They let her. They got rid of her. Why do you think they dropped the ball? You understand? You have the hottest team in the WNBA. You just can't win a title, and then you drop the ball. Why do you think that ownership is incompetent? I mean, do you think is it just incompetence? Why do you think that happened?
So I think it's a number of factors. The one factor is the one thing that you always talk about more than any other sports journalist in Chicago. You talk about the politics, the egos, and the stuff behind the scenes that goes on in professional and high-level college sports. Let's be honest. A lot of people don't understand how real that is. So I think one of the biggest things was when James Wade left the team in the middle of the season. To go take the assistant coaching job at Toronto. And I remember you vociferously on my show with Lance, on your own show, going in on James Wade, like, what the hell? How do you lead the team in the middle of a season and go do something else? Lance kind of defended the action as a former coach. You got to get your job opportunities where you can. So I was able to hear both sides of the argument. But I think that was the big piece when James left in the middle of the season. I also think ownership didn't do themselves any favor by not investing into their own facilities, which they have now done. They were practicing out of a park district.
No, that's the Bertle Center. It was the Bertle Center. But now it's a park. It's a local
park, right?
Park district, but it was a Bertle Center where the Bulls used to practice,
right. And I mean, they were up there in locker rooms with the general public. You got Kalia Copper changing for practice next to some 70-year-old woman who's like, "Hey, girl,
Mindy Sanders from Lake Forest."
There you go. And so I mean, that is what you have to put on ownership, and I think a lot of the people who cover the sky have done a great job in kind of reaming ownership for that. So I have actually been in the new facility over in Bedford Park. To the Wintrust Sports Complex. If you've ever been over there, it's right across the street from John Hancock High School, which is in Chicago. it's in Chicago, and across the street is Bedford Park, because everybody knows that's what you do when you want to save tax money. Build it in the suburbs. So
that's why they have all those hotels right there right by the airport in Bedford Park. There's no city taxes in there.
Right. And you also notice that we also hear a lot of Bedford Park commercials on radio too.
Yes.
Come to Bedford Park. Come to Bedford Park. So Bedford Park is kind of doing what my other favorite Chicago suburb, Rosemont, is doing. They're just like, hey, let's just cater to the business community. We don't need residents. The hell with residents. Let's build a bunch of businesses here. So I've actually been at the new practice facility. We actually run a lot of volleyball tournaments there throughout the winter and the summer. So I've seen this place as it's been being built over the last few months. And I also was able to get a little inside tour because I'm friends with the security guard who snuck me past the construction zone. So I've been inside. Sorry, Chicago Sky. Y'all don't know about that. But I've actually been inside. And it's going to be a very nice first-class facility, which the ladies do deserve. And I think that promise, the fact that they actually put shovels in the ground and there's walls and there's windows, I think that was very attractive for potential free agents like Skylar Diggins, like Covington, like many other players that they were able to acquire, because the Sky were the laughing stock of the league the last 2 years. We have to be honest about that. And a lot of that was on ownership. Also, after James Wade left, they hired GM Jeff. I call him GM Jeff. And he made a lot of terrible mistakes. But people got to remember, this was his first time being a GM, y'all. It's like everybody else. It's your first time doing it. You're going to make a whole bunch of dumb mistakes in any job you do. And he made a lot of very questionable trades. He did a lot of questionable signings on free agents. Even the drafting alone of Angel Reese wasn't, in my opinion, a smart draft pick, considering other people were on the board. But Jeff did draft her, and I think the proof, and it's funny how this whole thing worked out. I think the proof that it was such a bad draft pick is that if you go back now and you look at that draft in 2024, Shawn, if you go back and look at who was drafted where, Angel Reese was drafted at number 7, right? Okay. So she was drafted at number 7 in 2024. Well, Angel Reese is no longer with the team. However, the third pick that year was Camila Cardoso. Okay. We know she's still with the team. She's probably going to be a piece with the team. Who was drafted right after her at the number 4 pick? Rickea Jackson, who the Sky traded for and is now a member of the Chicago Sky. Who was drafted at number 5 in that exact same year? J.C. Shelton, who they also just acquired. So you basically got people who you could have selected either one of those two before Angel Reese, but you didn't. You selected Reese, and now you end up giving up more assets to acquire Jackson and J.C. Sheldon, who are now on your team and are going to be a core part of your team. So for all the fans who were complaining and saying all this stuff, now you got to give the guy credit because he fixed his error. I will give you the inside information on Angel Reese, just as I did last year when I came on your show near the end of the season. And I told you I thought Angel Reese's time with the Sky was done. Here's the thing. Angel didn't want to be here anymore. She wanted out. Did she ever come out to the public and say, hey, trade me? No, she didn't. But if people were paying attention, if you saw her actions, if you listened to her words, you could tell she didn't want to be here anymore. She did not want to be here. She wanted out of that organization. When you lambast your teammates in the media, as she did last year, and remember they had to call her in. They had to have a special meeting with Angel, say, hey, that wasn't cool, blah, blah, blah. When you do that to your teammates, you first of all rupture your relationship with your current teammates. When you do that, you can destroy a locker room doing that. Second thing she did was she went in on her coach on the sidelines during a game. Like, really, like, went off on this dude. Now, don't get me wrong. Players and coaches get into it at times. There's no doubt about it. But she did that and did it in a very public way. Then the third thing she did was she went and she dogged ownership to the media. Went in and just dogged them out. And not everything she said, and what she said mostly was true about the ownership, but there's a way you do that. And you don't want your franchise player dogging out ownership in that way. It shows that you don't have a relationship with your ownership group. It shows that you have no respect for the people who own the franchise, respect for the people who frankly pay you money and allow you a platform to do all your off the court stuff. It was a lack of respect for them. So that was the third thing she did. So I kind of knew what was going on. But I think what ultimately did it for her, because even after she had done those three things, she still had a majority of the Sky fan base that were on her side. Because they were like, well, yeah, the ownership does stink. And yeah, they do need to put a better roster around her. Those players are terrible. And this is a first-year head coach who's making a bunch of terrible mistakes. And yeah, our general manager is bad. He has made some bad deals. I think the fans were still kind of rolling with her because a lot of that was true. Where she lost Chicago, where she lost a significant part of the fan base, was on Candace Parker night last year. When they were retiring Candace's jersey, we were celebrating a local global superstar who came back home, as LeBron did when he went back to Cleveland. She came back to Chicago in the latter part of her career and brought Chicago something they had never had, a WNBA championship. And all the other players were out there. They were wearing the Candace Parker t-shirts doing warm-up during the ceremony. They were all out there. They stood, they smiled, they cheered. They did, professional shit you're supposed to do on your job, regardless of how you feel about a party. Angel stayed in the locker room, didn't participate in the ceremony, came out for warm-ups, wasn't wearing the Candace Parker t-shirts. And when she did that, I was like, oh, she's done. She's done. Now, all those people who were her fans, she's about to find, because, Chicago people, they'll turn on you now.
They'll find you quick, fast, in a hurry. Don't worry. Flavor Vision ain't blurry. They are quick, fast.
All right. I said, okay, now she's done it, because now she's just a local icon. And when she made that move, I was like, yeah, they're done. And I thought that this was who she was the entire time, because I remember her senior year at LSU when she got suspended for a number of games. And mysteriously, they never told us what it was about, just that she had been suspended. And it was like a number of games. And I was like, who gets suspended their senior year coming off of a national championship? Like, who does that? Like, and you the leader of the team? Who does that? So that was my first concern and why I didn't think they should have drafted her. My second reason was that I thought her and Cardoso never really meshed well together when they were on the court at the same time. I just think the coaching strategy didn't mesh for a high-low kind of offense, which they probably should have run, but I also don't think they had any outside shooting, which they didn't. So it was going to make it impossible for them to work anyway. So I think it was just a bad fit in Chicago. I think she had a nasty attitude toward the franchise and her teammates, and it was addition by subtraction. Okay. So you've gotten rid of Angel. Fine. She can go make her money with the Dream and do all the off-court stuff she wants. And here's another piece of inside information. The Sky weren't trying to trade her to the Atlanta Dream. They were actually trying to trade her to the Dallas Wings. Dallas had offered a better package than the Dream. And they thought, from the Dallas Wings standpoint, we could put Angel with Paige Beckers.
Paige Beckers, yeah.
And my girl. What's my other girl down there?
The one they just drafted?
No. The one who was putting up buckets. I can't remember her name now. But they were trying to replace her. They were trying to build a squad. And word is Angel nixed the trade. She didn't want to go to Dallas. She didn't want to go to Dallas. She wanted to go to Atlanta. And I know why she wanted to go to Atlanta, because Atlanta is a little bit more high profile when you got off the court millions raking in and you want to promote your brand. And one of your listeners had put it in here when I first came on that she cared more about her off the court stuff than she did about basketball.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
There you
Junior.
Go.
And
Junior.
There you go, Junior. You hit it right on the head, Junior. She was about her brand, dog. She was about her brand. That's why she was doing the Met Gala and all the off the court stuff she did. And that was why I was disappointed in her, because the Sky could have nixed all that and told her, no, this is the middle of the season. You're under contract. You need to be here. They never did that to her. They never did that to her. They let her do her podcast.
Nothing.
Never shackled her. Never shackled her. Said, yeah, do your podcast. Go do the Met Gala in the middle of the season and then come back the next day and play in a game. They never tried to stop her. So I thought it was very disrespectful and immature with a lot of things that she did. So now that I put that out there about Angel, let's talk about what they've done.
Let's talk
Shawn,
about
they put a whip.
What I said, dude, what I said, like I don't know if you heard me earlier, I said they traded a marketing machine for a playoff caliber roster.
Yeah.
Dude, let's talk about who they before we get to the La Chicana from East Los Homes, LA, and Gabriela. Before we talk about her, let's talk about the people who came back. Courtney Vandersloot came back. They got Lakia Jackson, Skylar Diggins.
Yes.
Elizabeth Williams is back. Dude,
Azura Stevens is back.
Azura Stevens. Talk about why or how they were able to get all those names back, especially Skylar Diggins. Because Skylar Diggins is not known to bite her tongue. Not known to bite her tongue. And with this organization, there's a lot to talk about.
Yes. So let's definitely delve into that, because that was one of the things after they traded Angel. People was online saying, nobody's going to come to the Sky now. Nobody wants to play here. They don't have nothing. Blah, blah, blah. And I was just sitting back laughing for the most part, because I know what you know. I know the one thing that motivates professional athletes in every single sport more than absolutely anything else, is this. And what was critical was the new CBA agreement.
Yeah.
That was what did it. Once them salaries was going up and the max contract amount went up and the minimum contract amount went up, and I saw what Jeff had done. And I saw what Jeff had done with all those recent trades. And basically they had like 3 people on the roster at the time. Haley Van Leef being one of them under a rookie contract, a couple other people under rookie contracts or minimum contract. I was like, oh, this guy got money. Wait a minute. Are y'all not seeing this? And nobody was picking up on that. And I was just sitting there like, they about to just throw dollars at folk. And I had heard that Skylar was their first target. I knew Skylar was interested in coming to Chicago. She's from South Bend, Indiana. She's near the end of her career. She's now 35, still a baller, still a leader. She wanted to end this closer to home. She got divorced last year. She's got her kids. That also plays a factor with professional athletes when they have families. You know, they kind of want to be closer. You know, let's not forget, she's now a single mother of 2 children. She wants to be closer to home with her family. So I kind of knew.
Neil Hunter, remember with the Minnesota Vikings, he took a job. He went to Houston Texans because he's from the Houston area, and toward the end of his career, he wanted to finish down there. So yeah, definitely, I can see that.
Right. Well, and it's a lot of stuff too. Sometimes they want to go because they have a sick family member and they need to be closer to home. It's a lot of factors that the public doesn't understand that goes into this. But when I saw this, and I know professional athletes, I was like, oh yeah, them people will come here. They got the money now. And first thing they did right out the box, they went and got Skylar. Boom. First day free day, we got Skylar Digger. I was like, all right, well, now you got not just a marketable player, you got a really highly skilled player, multiple
and
respected player, a gold medalist,
she goes there. It might not be that bad. All right, let me think about it.
Right. A social justice advocate. You got everything. I was like, that was the first thing you needed to do, because Skylar now brings a certain level of respect with her name. So now once you get her, it was easy to lure Stevens back. Come on back, Chicago girl. My cousin Lance Urban says the Stevens signing is going to prove to be the most pivotal out of all of them, because she's a big who can spread the floor. she's got an outside jumper. She can hit the mid-range jumper. That was something neither Angel Reese nor Cardoso could do. And that was what also hurt the Sky. So now you got a big who can stretch the floor for you. Okay, that's big. Then you go out, you got Courtney Vandersloot who's coming back. She's coming back after her injury. So we'll see how effective she's going to be. But she's also going to bring leadership because she can mentor Haley Van Leef, their pick from last year, their other point guard. And she'll also be mentored by Skylar Diggins. They also drafted another point guard. So they basically have 4 point guards.
Tony Morgan.
I don't think I don't think they're going to keep – they're not going to either keep Morgan or they're going to trade Van Leef again. You know, they could trade Van Leef and say, hey, you know, here's a young player with a lot of promise. And if they figure out they need another piece somewhere, don't be surprised if they move on from Van Leef. But I also think they needed another player in case Vandersloot gets injured. Okay, so they got the point guard position covered. All right, we covered that. We got Diggins. All right. And then,
listen, Jay, we only got a couple minutes left, so do me a favor. Let's jump to my girl Gabriela. Gabi from East Los, Holmes. East Los.
There you go. There you go. Another great move by the Sky. You get a shooting guard.
Yes.
Which you need. She's young. She can score buckets. Also, you had pointed to it, marketing. We have a large Hispanic Latino community in Chicago.
You think?
They now have a representative on the team.
Yes.
Who's going to be balling. That is huge for marketing. That's huge for marketing. Because I thought, you know, they were going to get my girl from LSU, Fallujah. They didn't. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then when they picked, I was like, wait a minute, this makes sense from a marketing standpoint.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
This makes sense from a marketing standpoint, Sky. Very good. And she can ball, and she's filling the need of what you need. Somebody can put in buckets from that 2 spot. That's smart. Very smart. And then, you know, with the trades of both acquiring both Jackson, who just basically wasn't getting enough playing time, but still averaged, you know, 12 points a game out there in LA. That's going to help you at the 3 spot at the small forward. And then JC Sheldon is a dog on defense. A dog. And you put her and Skylar, 2 guards, it's going to be like Jordan and Pippen. Remember and Harper? Remember when we had that trio?
The Dobermans.
We had the Dobermans. This is going to be the female version of that with Jackson, with Diggins, and with JC.
What people don't understand, though, Jason, because you're talking, what they don't understand is that when you have people who pressure the guards, it disrupts the flow of a team's offense. So they can't get in the flow early enough into the shot clock. And all of a sudden, now you start getting the shot clock at 10 seconds, and that's not where you want to get started in the shot clock. You want to get started 15, 17 seconds in the shot clock, and because of the pressure that they put on the guards bringing the ball up, it stifles the opposing offense, and a lot of times it could be just one and done.
Yes, and just to add to that real quick, also bringing those players in who are going to be able to shoot the ball from the outside, you just opened up the post for Cardoso. Ain't gonna be no more. Ain't gonna be no more of that double team, triple team stuff on her no more. And she gonna be I predict now she's gonna average a double with at least 2 or 3 blocks a game. I'm telling you that right now, because now people can't just collapse on her, and it's not all on her to score all the points. So you've got a big you can dump the ball down to, and then bringing in Carrington again, another solid guard who's got a huge following from marketing standpoint. Very attractive young lady, has a lot of male followers. And I keep telling everybody the WNBA will only succeed once you get men to consistently show up at games. You need the male sports fan. And nothing brings men more to the table than beautiful women. They like seeing them. And they can ball.
Guilty as charged, bro. Guilty as charged.
There you go. There you go. So I look forward to a really successful season from the Sky this year. I will say they probably will be a playoff team. But more importantly, I think they will have kind of put the last 2 or 3 years behind them and are moving forward. And they're going to give Chicago something to be excited about this summer. Summertime shy, baby.
Oh, man, I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. Don't forget my birthday party, bro. July 25th, Saturday, on the boat at the Summer at George. I don't know if I sent you the link. I know I included you in the event on Facebook, but I'll send you the link anyway. Man, it's gonna be one. It's gonna be one. Get a hotel room. I'm getting a hotel room because I'm not driving back to Orland that night. It's gonna be one. We're going to output after the boat. After the boat.
Yeah. Definitely. Send me the link, baby. I'm looking forward. It's going to be a good time, man. Always good talking to you, Shawn.
My pleasure, Jay. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Peace.
All right. Guys, that's Jason Palmer from former Chicago Sky beat writer, giving us the lowdown on the Chicago Sky and the Angel Reese situation. And I do like the squad they put together. I do. I said they traded a marketing magnet for a legitimate team, for quality playoff contending team. I like it. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to get into some football, baby. I am fired the freak up to have my man back again. I got a lot of questions for you people. I need a DT. I need a DN. I need a linebacker. I need a safety. Damn it. Who am I looking at? So my guy, EJ Snyder, is going to join us, and we will talk DNs, DTs, safeties, linebackers on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best. I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
They jump the ball, they go quick. Stafford's looking end zone. Throws it up top. It's knocked away by Stevenson, who's having a terrific game as well. Bring him in. But still 2 for 8. And now he's pressured. Escapes, looks to take off. Got away from the tackle. Williams got a downfield block. There goes Caleb to the 37-yard line. With the 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning here. See what they do. Inside run Williams. That's a big play. Back behind the line of scrimmage. End of game. They'll run down here. Swift opening. DeAndre Swift inside the 20 to the 19. It's a gain of 13 yards. Bears in the red zone. Command in motion. Williams drifting. Sprinting for space. In all kinds of trouble. Put it up for grabs in the end zone. He got it! For the touchdown! They've done it again! Unbelievable!
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC. Unbelievable! And then Chris Collins. Because that's all you could have said. That's all you could have said at that point was, again, not again. Oh, man, that was the divisional loss to the Bears, to the Rams. But they had a chance to win. They had it. They each had a possession in overtime, and the Bears got the ball back, and all they needed to do, kick a field goal. Wow, but that turnover killed us. Oh, man. Anyway, a lot of things have changed since that fateful night. And DJ Moore's gone. Tremaine Edmonds is gone. Okay. Our whole safety room is gone. We're talking Jaquan Brisker. We're talking Byard. We're talking Jonathan Owens, Mr. Simone Biles. We're talking CJ Garner-Johnson. And then there's one more. His name just evades me. But we need help. And then we had to think about all the stuff we had last year. We led the league in turnovers. We led the takeaways. We led in interceptions. And that was with 0. It might even have been a negative pass rush was what we had last year. Imagine if we had people who pressured the quarterback. Well, we have a way to change that this year. Free agency and the draft, which is coming up next week. And the guy that I talk to every single time is my man. You can find him on Twitter at FootballEJ. He's an NFL draft analyst. He's the host of the Bear Era podcast. Let's welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports, our guy, EJ Snyder. EJ, what's up, Papa? How are you?
I'm good, Shawn. Thanks for having me back on.
Man, always, dude. Always. Man, where do we begin? A lot of subtractions in the offseason. All right. The safety position was one of the big areas of need. Luckily, we did sign Kobe Bryant. But we still need a box safety. We still need backups. We still need a pass rush. We got to stop the run. Bears are fortunately, I guess it's bittersweet, had a great season, but now you don't get to draft in the top 10 when you go to the divisional round. So we're at 25. Give me your thoughts on what you think the Bears, position-wise, are gonna go after 25. DT, you're going 3 tech, nose guard. You think they're going edge? What do you think they're going with 25?
Well, like you said, this is a position they're not used to being in. They're very used to drafting in the top 10, the top 15. Being way down at 25 is a position where successful teams end up. And if you're going to stay a successful team, you've got to take advantage of the board there. That means going in without preconceived notions, because a lot can happen before you ever pick on night one. You're all the way down to 25. People can trade up. People can trade out. Certainly some people, especially in this draft, that you didn't think were going to be there are going to be there. And you have to play the board well. You have to play it as it lies. And teams that do that successfully year after year stay successful. The Ravens did it for years and years. They would pick up the dollars that other teams dropped. And the Bears need to be able to do that. Like you said, the biggest needs are on defense. We saw, brand new coach come in, set an offense that Chicago hasn't had in decades, carries them all the way to the playoffs. Ben's got that sort of in hand. Do they have needs on offense? Sure. Do they have way more needs on defense? They do. So they're going to be looking at defense with that pick. It's very possible they trade it. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Dexter Lawrence and the Giants and the money and everything else. Let me tell you this. If Ryan Poles gets a chance to trade for Dexter Lawrence in any possible way for 25, he's going to do it, because nobody at 25 is anywhere near Dexter Lawrence in terms of impact. He's a unicorn in the NFL world, 3 times as many pressures as a true nose tackle as any other nose tackle in the league over the last 3 years. The next best has 30-something. Dex has over 100. That is an impact player. That's a force multiplier.
Jesus,
he's gonna help Montez. He's gonna help Austin Booker. Like, if Dexter can come to Chicago, Poles will do it. If he can't, he's got to be looking at the value. Now, value in terms of position, again, defensive focus. You said it. Any of the top 3 safeties fall to 25. He will absolutely be looking at one of them. Edge is likely. DT, I don't think is that likely. There are good DTs in this draft. There are not great DTs in this draft. Several of them that I like a lot have serious injury concerns. I know one of them is off Chicago's board because of that. So there's, Caleb Banks with the foot injury, not really interested in 330-pound game wreckers that can't stand up right now. Yeah, he's a tremendous player. No slander to Caleb Banks. I hope he heals up. I want to see him on the field for somebody, but I understand Poles' reticence to say, maybe not for us in round one. So I think really if one of the three safeties falls, that's probably the most likely pick. If they stick and pick, edge would be the next most likely.
What about Caden McDonald, the kid out of the Ohio State University? He's another big body in there. Is he someone that the Bears could possibly go after? Is there something is there an injury or something concerned about him?
No, there's no injury concern, and I don't know if he can hoop. Maybe the Bulls need him, but for the Bears, he is probably one of the best run stoppers in the entire draft, and that's great, but you don't take run-stopping defensive tackles in round one unless there is nobody else on the board. And like I said, there's probably going to be some other folks on the board. So I like Caden McDonald a lot as a player. I don't love the value at 25. Now, the other thing they might do with that pick, if they can't trade for Dex and they don't really love the board as it falls, maybe all three safeties are gone, is to try and trade back because they have a huge gap in this draft. 110 pick draft, or 110 draft picks are going to go off the board. Chicago has no picks later on day 3. So they might look to try and fill that gap by trading back a few spots. The value is going to be a lot the same. The grades in this draft really even out after 10, 12 players and stay very consistent until really the top of round 3. There's a lot of middle talent in this draft. So if they are able to, now they'd have to find a dance partner to do it, they might trade back and look to fill that 110 pick gap that they have later on day 3.
So you said D tackle's not a position you take that early. Okay, so let's look at edges. Who do you think? Akeem Mesidor is a guy out of Miami. He's played second fiddle to Ruben Bain. And I hate saying let me not say it like that because that makes it sound like he was, not good. And that dude was good. Now maybe it was because of Bain, I'm not sure. But that dude, when I watched this tape, the thing I liked about him is how violent he was. Yeah, his hands. He's just a very violent young man, and coming off that edge, that is an amazing trait to have. Mm-hmm. Is that a possibility to get Akeem Mesidor?
It absolutely is. Mesidor is the first one on my list at edges. If he falls, they will be considering him. There are injury concerns. A lot of people are concerned about the age. I'm not so concerned about the age because you are getting a professional. You are getting a guy that is ready to go right now. He is already a professional. He spent his NIL money at Miami on outside treatments and a personal pass rush coach. He is already in the scheme in terms of being an NFL pro. So if they're comfortable with his medicals and he falls, which I'm not sure that he will, the Bears will likely consider Mesidor. I too like his power, his ability to compress the pocket, his violence. He is a very solid player and I think would probably be the best option. Again, as long as they are okay with the health, they're going to know about that. We aren't. If he's not there, it's really a trio of players that they're looking at. And Dennis Allen likes size with his edges. He likes power. He likes length. And 3 guys that fit that profile, Zion Young from Missouri, Keldrick Falk from LSU, and TJ Parker from Clemson. Now, they all have strengths and weaknesses. None of them are great pass rushers. Zion Young's probably the best current pass rusher. I think TJ Parker might have the highest ceiling, but Falk is tremendous in terms of being 6'6", 285. Guys his size should not move like he does. His problem is he doesn't finish on the pass rush. He gets there a lot. Tons of pressures, and he is an animal, absolute animal against the run. But again, you don't take run stoppers in round 1 if you can help it. You want some upside. And a lot of people say, oh, if only with all 3 of these players, if only they could get to the quarterback more, if only they could finish more. That's, as we know, when you get to the league, that's a projection. And projections at the end of round 1 can get you fired. So they can also be superstars. They're going to have to pick, most likely, if they pick an edge at 25, they're going to have to pick their favorite out of that trio. They've met with all of them. Zion Young took a 30 visit to Chicago as well. There is tons of potential in all three of those young men's games. We'll see which one they're comfortable with, or if, like I said, they go a different direction, trade the pick up a safety, do something else, maybe even offensive tackle.
There goes my next question. Thank you for the alley-oop. Ozzy Trapillo was injured. They said he might be back this year, but even if he is, he won't be at 100%. Even if he comes back healthy, he won't be at 100%. So that's kind of like another area. They re-signed Braxton Jones. They signed Theo Benedette. So they have a stopgap there because those guys were serviceable. Okay, not gold jacket, but serviceable. Do you think they go after left tackle or say, hey, listen, we have a serviceable guys here? Because Braxton Jones was awesome in the run game. And we know that Ben Johnson loves to run the ball. So that could be a leg up for him. Theo Benedict also not bad as well. Do you think that's an area where they say, okay, we have two stopgaps here. Let's worry about that next season? What do you think with the left tackle position? Or is there one that they could get in maybe the second round that they're like, no, is a perfect fit for us?
Yeah, I think in a typical year, there might be a second round option that the Bears could consider. In this particular year, again, with as even as the field is and everybody looking to, I hear this over and over again about this draft, hit doubles. Anytime after the first 3 or 4 picks, teams are looking to hit doubles in the first round. And what that means in a football sense is 2 years from now, we don't want to look back and say we wasted our first round pick. We want a good football player. Might not be our highest position of need, might not be the most premium position in terms of salary. We want somebody that is contributing to our football team that we feel good about signing to a second contract. That's tough to do. And when NFL decision makers are faced with that choice, they typically go offensive line. And so I think there's going to be a run on tackles in the first round that's going to be pretty significant, maybe even more significant than a lot of people think. A lot of them are going to go off the board because they are, quote unquote, a safer pick. That means might be pretty picked over by 25, but it makes sense. And if the Bears take a tackle, it's not about 2026. I want to tell people that. It is not about next year. If they take a tackle, it's about 27. Again, you said they have serviceable options. They even have Jedrick Wills on a flyer coming back from injury. They have options for left tackle for 26. They don't have any for 27. They've got a question mark in Trapillo in terms of how he's going to come back, even if his surgery and recovery goes super duper well. There's no guarantee he will reach his heights that he was before the injury. So if that's your only egg in the basket as a team builder, that's a tough look. So if they pick a tackle, it's not about playing him this season. It's about giving him some time to learn under Dan Rochar and taking that athletic potential and giving him a chance to compete in 27 as a long-term high-end starter. Now, there are a couple of guys that make sense for that. One is Blake Miller. The other is Max Ahanachor. And the third one that a lot of people are talking about who did take 30 visit is Caleb Lomu. And that's Spencer Fano's running mate down at Utah on the left side. Lomu is the only natural left tackle. And I say that because the other two guys I mentioned, I would only take them if they believe they can play left tackle. They are set at right tackle. I do not want to move Darnell Wright. And some guys can make that switch at tackle and some guys can't. It's an individual case-by-case basis. Hanachor is the guy that interests me the most. He has the highest upside athletically. He hasn't been playing the position very long, and he's already really good. Everybody says, and this is just a natural sort of offshoot of being very, very athletic at that spot. If you are a super great athlete who has not been playing tackle a long time, the automatic tag that people attach to you is raw. I would posit that Max Ahanachor is not that raw. Watch a lot of his tape against top pass rushers in this draft. He did really well already. If he is that good already, his ceiling is sky high because he has not reached it yet. If you believe Max Ahanachor can play left tackle and he's available at 25, I would seriously look at it. If Dan Rochar, exactly, he gets to sit there. He doesn't have to play at a high level immediately.
Get a series here and there.
Even if somebody gets hurt, when you're making that switch, you need time. If you can give that guy time, and you have 3 options at left tackle. Right. Yeah. I'm not saying put him on the practice squad, make him available. But look, if Darnell Wright goes down, Max Ahanachor is a very nice luxury. At the same time, if he's learning to play left, he's not going to be under pressure as a rookie. He's going to get a full sort of runway to 2027. And man, having stood next to that guy on the field at the combine and watch him move, he moves like a soccer player, and he played soccer growing up. You can see it in his feet. People say basketball player all the time. There is no way a guy that big should move that well. So if Ahanachore's there and Roshar believes he can move to the left-hand side with a year's runway, I think it's a very real possibility that the Bears would go in that direction.
One of my guys wants to know your assessment of University of Miami tackle Markel Bell. Said he's a mammoth of a man, a monster smaller, and he wanted me to watch this. I didn't get a chance to watch this film yet, but give me your thoughts on Miami tackle Markel Bell.
I like him. I don't love him. Again, he's going to need some runway, and the Bears do have it. He is going to be available later on down. Markel Bell is not going to go in that immediate first run of tackles. So there is a possibility, if you like him, that you could come back with one of those second-round picks and pick him up, which you're probably going to need to do. Now, I don't have a second-round value on him, but again, if there's a run on tackles and they're going off the board, guys that size don't grow on trees. You're going to have to spend a higher pick than you'd probably like to go get him.
I like, so what my guy was saying is that he's a mauler, and that's what I love. Big, tall, was 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, he's huge.
And just that's a mountain of a man, and I love it. I love it. And the one thing that I really want the Bears to do, and stop doing, and start doing this. Stop switching people.
Yep.
Okay. Stop taking right tackles and making them left tackles. All right, give me a guy who's played left tackle the majority of his career. Don't mind, he might have played right in his first year in college or second, but then he made his name as a left tackle. Grab me, if you're going after a left tackle, grab me as someone who played left tackle. Damn it, I don't want to have to worry about him having his court to work on his coordination, because people have no idea if you ever going from a right a stance to a left-handed stance and anchoring with your left leg. Your right leg as opposed to your left leg, and it's a whole different thing. And then just hitting your target, facing left where as it is facing right, completely different. So go give me a guy who's done it well, and a guy that you feel has a huge upside. Because I want Dan Roshar to earn his money this year. I want us to get a guy like you said who has a runway, because we have some options at the left tackle. And then in 2027, this dude comes out like, where the hell did you find this dude? A year of a redshirt year under Dan Roshar. Earn your check, big dog. Earn your check, because that's a huge thing in protecting the blind side of that quarterback.
Yeah, problem is you want all those things. You want an experienced left tackle who's played a lot of reps. You're not getting him at 25. That guy's off the board by 12. Like, there are not very many left tackles, true left tackles in this draft. There's more rights who are, again, have a good upside. But if you believe, and again, believe it's a case-by-case basis, because you're absolutely correct. Right. Try eating with your left hand if you're right-handed. Like, just
try to burn your pants with your left hand.
Yeah, everything's different. So some guys can make that happen. Some guys can't. And there isn't a hard and fast rule about, if you're this athletic or you test this way. It isn't that way. You literally have to put the guy out there on the field and say, hey, can you do this consistently? Can you change that muscle memory? Some guys can, and some guys are like, absolutely not doing it.
Yeah, that's whew. Guys, we're joined by EJ Snyder, NFL draft analyst and host of the Big Era podcast. We're talking Bears football, Bears draft prospects here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Let's go back to edge a little bit.
Sure.
Who do you think is a dark horse? Like, if they go edge, tackle, edge, and if they draft a second edge player, who should fans keep an eye out or a name to hear? Like, oh, okay, that's a good pick. Because a lot of times, obviously, people don't delve into. I don't even delve into it as much as you do. So we don't know some of the later round picks, that possible diamonds in the rough, so to speak. Who are names that in the second or maybe even third tier defensive end or edge rushers that we should hear? So if we hear that name called, we're like, okay, we got a good one. Or possible.
Possible. And that's the thing. The farther down you go in the draft for premium positions, and we were just talking about left tackle, that's one of them. Obviously, quarterback is another, and edge rusher is a third. the farther down you go, the more questions you're going to get, whether it's a size question, athletic ceiling question, age, production, injury, whatever it is. Again, if you don't have any of those marks, you're going in the top half of the first round. If you're an edge rusher and you're talking about those second round picks, guy like Gabe Akis out of Illinois is certainly a target, but he's getting a lot of love late. I think he might go earlier than that.
Yeah.
Yep, he is. There's a lot of things to like about Gabe's profile in terms of is a strong wrestling background, who's a championship wrestler down in Florida when he was coming up in high school. You see that leverage, plays with a great motor, is athletic. Again, doesn't have top end pass rush production, but has some more than some of these other guys I was talking about. And again, still probably isn't at his ceiling, is a great learner, is a great teammate. He's got a lot of fans in the NFL. So he's a local guy out of Illinois. That would be great for Bears fans, but I don't know that he makes it to the Bears, cluster of second round picks. Other guys that could be in play there. Derek Moore is a guy that I think Dennis Allen probably looks at. Yep. Michigan edge, long arms, has a power profile, is able to set that edge, has some pass rush flashes that I actually like. And he is going to be available with those second round picks. So he's a guy I could see them going after. And then K'Ron Crawford, the other edge down at Auburn, Keldrick Falk's running mate. I like a lot. He's got a good profile. He's kind of like Mesidor is to Bain, right? He's definitely the number 2, but when you watch him in a vacuum, as I do, as you know, pull up the tape and just focus on what he does a lot of things well already, does have that power profile, has pretty good size, is able to push. And that's so important in the NFL because you need power. Speed's great, but speed guys get slower. Power guys don't necessarily get a lot weaker. In fact, they get stronger as they get older. So if you've got a speed rush and you lose a step or you get injured, or just frankly, good NFL tackles figure out your one-trick pony routine, then what else you got? And the answer is nothing. You run around a lot. If you can get a good long arm lockout and push a tackle back a couple of steps, you will always have a place in the league. So guys with a power-based profile as rushers have definitely sort of elevated, in my opinion, over the last couple of years. And that's from talking to NFL tackles. Hey, man, what scares you? They're not really scared by guys that are really fast until you get up to like the cream of the crop, the top maybe 5%. They understand how to handle speed, how to cut set it, how to jump set it. They get all that. They have length. They can counter speed. If a guy can just stand up in their face and push them backwards and they can't bow up, that scares them. It scares them deeply. So
cool. What my guy has another assessment. Caleb Proctor, tackle out of Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, he's again. You're talking. Apparently, your guy likes mountains because Caleb Proctor is also one of the largest offensive tackles in the draft.
My guy's a big Caleb. He's a big Caleb fan. He wants the biggest possible human to protect his backside.
That's right. He wants Caleb for Caleb. No, look. Proctor is a good tackle, and I think he has upside. I think he's probably closer to it than some of the other guys in this draft. He's in the second tier of tackles for me. That's not a bad thing. He could very easily go in the first round. Daniel Jeremiah said to me at the Combine, this is a flavors draft, and it's stuck with me. Different teams are going to like different guys.
Right.
And, Proctor could be one of those tackles that goes in the first round in that run I'm talking about. I would not be surprised by that at all. Definitely has fans in the league. Would I, venture a high pick for Proctor given the rest of the board? I probably wouldn't. Is he going to go there? He probably is. That's just the reality of tackle this year. So if he ends up a Bear, I'm not sad. He's a quality player. It's not, I don't think it's necessarily a reach, but that would mean he's the one out of that group of 6 or 7 that they really like.
Okay. Let's move back a little bit. Let's go to the safety position. We said we signed Kobe Bryant. So we're in, man, that was a big coup by the Bears, I believe. Young, in his prime, literally coming off a Super Bowl title.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot, there's nothing more valuable than dealing with people who've won championships. When you have those types of players in your locker room, they bring a different aura. They bring a different attitude. They bring a different mentality because they've done it. They've done it. You're trying to get there. You're trying to get to where this young man has got. Again, he didn't do it by himself. He's part of a team, but he understands what the team, specifically his side of the ball, needs to act like, needs to practice like, needs to eat, how they need to weight lift. He understands that because you've just done it with a championship team. That's important for this youngster because we're going to get a whole bunch of new safeties. We can't even bring them back because all our guys are signed other places. Who should we be looking at for the Bears to get draft a safety in the in their second round pick or in the third round? Who is I had a couple names. Let me know if here we go. I had a couple names. One of them was the kid out of SC. No, sorry,
Ramsey.
Yes, Ramsey, and I also have AJ Halsey from LSU, and then there was one more because I tell you I hated mock drafts. Never did one in my life until last year. Now I'm a crack addict.
Yep, that's how it happens, Shawn.
I can't get enough of these damn things.
Gateway draft to the drug. That's it. Gateway drug to the draft. You got it. That's open that door and stick your foot in, and that's it. Down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, Kamari Ramsey, and then Halsey from LSU, and then there's one more. I can't Beck or something like that from is it A&M?
So if you're talking about safeties, not A&M, there's a Texas Tech safeties farther on down, but there's a lot of safeties in this draft, and that's good for the Bears. You talked about linebacker. There's a lot of inside linebackers. It's a great class for that. It's also a very good class for safety up high. Of course, you're going to hear about Caleb Downs out of Ohio State. He's going to be off the board. He's the apple of a lot of teams' eyes. We're hearing about possible trade-ups to go get him if he falls out of the top, 4 or 5. Dylan Thieneman started at Purdue, ended up at Oregon, is a very good player with tremendous range. Love him. Saw him at the Combine, saw him at his pro day. Really, really good tape. Dan Lanning loves that guy, and I think he, too, is going to be off the board before the Bears. That would leave Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the Toledo safety, who I like a lot. Very good size, 6'3", over 200 pounds. Not necessarily the fastest, but gets there very quickly because he processes really, really quickly. He sees it on the field fast enough to get there, and very solid tackler. I like him a lot, and I think pairing him with Kobe Bryant would be ideal. So if Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, EMW, is there at 25, I believe he's probably going to be the pick because, again, like I said, that is more than a double. You are hitting on a quality player at a position of need. They're going to go home and sleep like babies if that happens. Like you said, if they need to wait until the second round, AJ Halsey is definitely a guy they'll look at out of LSU. Big time athlete, really good hitter. I think he's a dog against the pass, but there's a reason that he's in the second round compared to the other guys. He doesn't have top tier skills, but he is probably going to be the next safety off the board after that top trio. You mentioned Ramsey from USC. I'm not a huge Kamari Ramsey fan. I think he's a good player. I actually kind of like his running mate, who's ranked much lower, Bishop Fitzgerald, better. And he's going to be available late in the draft. Bears might be able to go get him. The other two guys I would really think about are currently listed as corners, but they played so much slot and box in college that I see them as safeties. And one of them has already visited the Bears. That's Keontae Scott from Miami. He is an absolute agent of chaos. They lined him and Bain up on the same side all the time and then basically said, we dare you to run. So he's great coming forward, really good size, tons of TFLs, I'd say twice as many as the next corner in this draft. And he's got corner skills going back. I still want his eyes towards the quarterback, but he can play tight ends 15, 20 yards down the field. He can take on the run fit. So a lot of people look at him and say, oh, he's a nickel. I really don't think with his range, he's just a nickel. I think he would be a very good safety. And the other guy is very similar in profile, and that's Traden Stukes out of Arizona. Now, Stukes is going to be 25 in his rookie season, but he is incredibly fast. He is even better against the pass than Keontae Scott is and has no compunction whatsoever about coming down from depth to be a part of the run fit. And when you have that too high safety structure, you need a guy that'll run the alley 12 yards from depth and absolutely slam the running back. Traden Stukes all day long, all over his tape.
The other guys I was talking about were Bud Clark and Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina, and Bud Clark out of TCU.
Yeah, Bud Clark's got a lot of fans. He is a madman against the pass, and it's won him a lot of fans in this draft cycle. He's going to be available. My guess is right around the sort of 100 range. So we're talking about probably very end of day 2 in round 3, or very beginning of day 3, top of round 4 is where Bud Clark's going to go. Great range, not the best size, but he's not undersized. He's not super small. Don't always love the consistency of his reads, which is probably why he's going to be down in that range. He's got some work to do there. But in terms of a physical talent with production, definitely a guy they could be considering in the later rounds.
Okay. Well, we definitely have a lot of work to do. Do you think, is there any way we go after a linebacker in any of this? I mean, we got.
Yes. I do, because I think the class is very good. And again, it's going to present value. If you don't go for one up high, and I could see why they wouldn't with their other needs, but they also, again, linebacker to me, inside linebacker, I know everybody says, oh, we just signed one in free agency, and we got Jackson, who played better, obviously, than the starters last year when he came in. We're set at linebacker. What are you talking about? And the answer is, long-term, you're not. And linebacker is a high wear position. Guys are going to miss games. And when a draft comes along like this, which it doesn't, it hasn't in 6 or 7 years in terms of having 8, 9, 10 good inside linebackers all the way down the board, you have to look at taking advantage of that. I can see why they wouldn't do it up high. If they did, my guy in this draft would be Jacob Rodriguez. Problem is, he played too well, and then he tested too well. So he's going to be out of the Bears' range. He's probably, when this all started, people were talking about him in the 70s or the 60s, which put him in perfect range for the Bears to pounce and get a very good football player. He's going to go, there's a possibility he sneaks into the back of the first round, but he's going to go early on day 2. If he's there with one of their day 2 picks and they don't pick him, I will be heartbroken. One of my favorite players in the entire draft. But there are lots. Yep, Texas Tech. So played on a very good defense, but was the green dot signal caller for that defense. He's mean as a football player. You'd love him. As a person, he's really nice. He came up to me on the field at the combine and introduced himself. I try and stay out of guys' way. That's a job interview. And he just walked up and said, hey, I'm Jacob. And I was like, hey, I'm EJ. And we talked for a little bit. He's a very nice guy. You know, in that situation, when you strap a helmet on that guy, he is not nice. He is mean. He hits with impact. He has one of my favorite qualities.
EJ, you just gave me goosebumps on my arm when you said he's really mean.
Oh, dude, I love him. I love Jacob Rodriguez so much. He is one of my top 5 players in this draft at any position. So if they get him and he ends up in navy and orange, I swear it's going to be a storybook. That guy is a perfect fit for what they need. They're probably not going to, because it's going to be high draft capital. And I understand that. And there's value farther on down. So guys like Bryce Betcher out of Oregon, their middle linebacker, 2-sport star, Gold Glove center fielder. When I went down to Oregon, I said, why isn't he playing baseball? Like, he got drafted. Like, come on. The money's better. It's better on your body.
On your body. Yeah. Longevity is great.
And this, you'll love this, especially for a middle linebacker. He said, he just loves football. He said, even in spring baseball, all he wanted to do was get back to spring ball and hit people. Like, he just loves football. And I was like, he'd have to. A very good player. I think he's got better range than he tested on tape. He looks better. He gets really mad at himself when he drops the ball when you throw it to him, because he's got great hands. He's a center fielder. So that's not typical of middle linebacker position, but he's like, I know I should have caught that. One other guy I'll mention is Bud Clark's teammate at TCU, Caleb Alarms Orr. Caught my eye at the combine with his movement skills, came back, watched his tape. He's got good size, really good movement skills. I think he's underrated right now a little bit. He's down there in the, depending on what board you look at, the 150s, the 160s. I think he's a better player than that. I think he's probably going to go in the 120s or 130s.
Okay. Is there any chance you think the Bears go after a wide receiver? You know, I know we got rid of DJ.
Nope.
And that hurt me. That one really hurt. You expect, I don't think Rome is ready to take over that number 1 spot. I think Luther Burden is ready to take over that number 1 spot before Rome, but I don't think Luther Burden's ready to do it yet. Jade Walker, I really, really, really like him. I'm a big fan of his. He was a big time producer at A&M. Love him. We saw the touchdown against the Packers. So they have a good squad. And let's not forget Cole Kmet and that guy Colson something or other who did pretty well as a rookie tight end. So we got some pretty good pass catchers. But do you see the Bears possibly going in the later round and getting somebody? And if so, who do you think they might look at?
I think they might. I think it would surprise a lot of Bears fans. It wouldn't surprise me. And I don't necessarily think it's going to be the later rounds. I think if they do it, it's going to be in that second round, because I think that if it happens, and I'm not saying it will, and they got Khalif Raymond too, who obviously Ben loves
right. They just
from his time in Detroit. And so everybody's going to say, nah, they're set. They don't need a wide receiver. Wide receiver is like corner now because they play against each other. You can never have enough good ones. You need 3 to 4 to 5 corners. You need 3 to 4 to 5 wide receivers. And the Bears have 3.5, depending on how you're looking at it. They could always use another one because, again, they're 1 or 2 injuries away. And we saw this last year from, those guys like Jade. You might love Jade, but you probably don't want him starting against corner number 1 in the NFC North for like 6 weeks. Like that's not great. So if it happens, it's going to be because Ben sees a guy on the board and says, just like he did with Luther Burden, who I thought was a luxury pick last year, but we all saw how it worked out. And I said at the time, I trust Ben. Ben has a plan. If he is using, one of his very high picks in his first season as head coach, he knows exactly what he's going to do with that guy. And of course he did. If that happens again, if this board presents value in those second round picks to Ben, there's a couple of players I think that unless he's in the broom closet, he's going to pound the table for and try and convince Ryan to take. One of them is Skylar Bell, the wide receiver out of Connecticut. Skylar Bell is a really good player. He is extremely versatile, inside, outside, 10-inch hands, over 100 targets. He was Mr. Everything for Connecticut. All the offense ran through him. One of the best yak threats in this entire draft. I think Skylar Bell is going to be a high-end number 2 in the NFL. I think that's what he's going to ascend to, and I don't think it's going to take him that long to get there. So if you have that guy in your rotation, probably as your starting 3, if you draft him, now your rotation looks great. And if either of your starters goes down, Skylar Bell can step in and I think carry the load. The other guy is Bryce Lance. This is Trey Lance's brother out of North Dakota State. Yeah. And he reminds me a lot of a guy that came before him. And this is not helmet scouting. He reminds me, because of his skills on a football field, of Christian Watson. And we've seen Christian Watson and what he does for the Packers. When he is on the field for the Packers, that offense is different. Defenses have to respect the deep ball. If not,
you gotta know what that does to that every freaking play, especially third and short.
Yep. Nope. Other than that, people are going to pack down on the Green Bay offense and say, look, you got a whole bunch of number 2s. They just got rid of a couple of those guys, but you don't have anybody that scares us. Christian Watson comes on the field. They go, oh, okay.
Hold on, player.
Yeah. And Bryce Lance is that guy. He has deep speed. He's more than that. He's a great blocker because of his time at North Dakota State. He is a dog in the run game. Ben is going to love that. That's what's really going to sell him. But Bryce Lance's skill down the field for the deep shot, his ability around the sidelines. He is a balletic player. He reminds me of Gonzalez, the corner from New England, in the way that he moves, the way that he's able to jump up and wrap around defensive backs, catch the ball, come down with a foot in bounds. He is a threat. People are going to have to respect the speed and the big playability. And the Bears have some of that, but they don't have what Lance brings. Again, he is young, he is tall, he is fast. And if Ben sees that and says, that's the can opener for my offense. If I've got him and Luther and Rome and, again, Loveland, of course, now what are you going to do on defense? You can't cover them all. And they're all better than your guys on defense. Now I can just go out and score 30 or 35 and take a little bit of pressure off that defense. Caleb's got targets. Caleb's got the arm to hit a guy like Bryce Lance, even through the wind in the late season. If those two guys are there, I can see a place where Ben just takes the cheese and says, bag it, I know what I'm doing, and this is I'm pushing the accelerator all the way down.
Well, one of the things that Ben likes to do, or I should say, I take that back. One of the things Green Bay did last year was they exploited us with C.J. Garner-Johnson. All right, you put Christian Watson in the slot.
Yep.
And now you don't get the number 1 or number 2 corner. You get the number 3 corner. How many number 3 corners, how many nickel corners are running 4-3s? You know what I mean? And
not many.
Yeah. And we saw that all he did was whoop and just run a crossing route and catch me if you can, CJ Garner-Johnson, because I know you can't. And it was literally a 8-10 yard throw, and he just ran up the sideline. I think Ben saw that, and this is why they got rid of a lot of safeties. They got rid of the whole class, because as good as they were interception wise, didn't have that speed. And Ben wants speed.
Yep.
The need. I feel the need for speed, and if he can get another one of those guys, which is why I know that's why he loves Luther Burden. I love Luther Burden. God damn, because you know what, Luther Burden's a dog. Luther Burden is a dog, and when they traded the only dog that I thought they had before Luther Burden showed his teeth in DJ Moore, I'm like, who the hell? But as the season went on, I'm like, okay, Luther Burden is that dude, and he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He had a first round grade by a lot of people last year. Fell to the second, and he said in his press conferences, they're all going to pay. And that motivating thing, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. He's like, give me. Only thing maybe would be more perfect is he was Keyshawn Johnson. Give me the damn ball, because I think he's a phenomenal player. He led, if I'm not mistaken, the NCAA last year or his last year in yards after catch. That dude is a beast. If you can get another guy like Trey Lance's brother who can do that, you talk about clearing out and having guys running crossing routes. Dude, your defenses are in a whole world of trouble, because you just, as I said, you don't have nickelbacks who are running 4-3s. That's a big problem.
Yeah, and I think Ben's going to look at it that way. I think a lot of fans tend to break it down to a very, very simplistic level. Like, the defense wasn't great last year. We need defense. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears use all their picks on defense, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Ben looks at the board, because it's what smart football people do, and go, hey, other teams dropped $1. I'm going to pick it up here because I know exactly what I'm going to spend it on. And if that happens, I won't.
DJ. Oh, we got my man froze. No. EJ. Damn. Oh man.
Are we back?
There we go. Okay. Yeah. So you left off. You said you talked about someone dropped $1. I'm going to pick it up because I know what I'm going to spend it on.
Yeah.
Exactly that's where you left off.
Yeah. I think Ben understands right now that if he can push it on offense, that is his strength. And if he can run up 35, it puts a lot of pressure on the other team. And I'm pretty sure, and I have a lot of faith in Ben at this point, that he knows exactly what he's going to use those players for. So if he does pick an offensive player, even though the greatest needs are on defense, again, I think Ryan's going to fill the coffers on defense as much as he can. But if Ben stands up and says, hey, that's my guy, I know what I'm going to do with him, and I know how it's going to hurt opponents, I think Ryan's smart enough to step back and say, all right, you get your guy.
He better. And that's the thing that I really like about him is, like, you look in, and Detroit had a lot of good wide receivers, okay, when Ben was there. And it's starting to remind me of the Greatest Show on Turf, where you had, I can't even think of the older guy.
Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce.
Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Oz Hakeem. Then you even had Ricky Prohl. So, like, you had three guys, Hakeem, Torrey Holt, and Bruce. Those guys could run. Those guys, all of them can run.
Yep.
And it seems like that's what Ben's like, okay, you sons of guns. Watch this. I'm going to get a whole bunch of guys that can run and are big. I know Luther's not that big. He's only 6'1", but he can run.
Yeah.
He can run, damn it. That's the one thing you don't have to worry about Luther. He can run. And I think you're right. Like, okay, my defense isn't great, but can you put up 35? Can you handle a shootout against, and I think that, and I wonder, give me your thoughts on this defense. Do you think they will be or do you think they'll still be as opportunistic? It's going to be tough to mirror what they did last year. But if you're taking the ball away, okay, if that's part of your daily routine, then it's going to happen. And okay, so you want to, but that's what happened with us last year. We weren't a great defense per se. We just had turnovers in key points that stopped them. Then we went and scored instead of being up 7 points. Now we're up 14. That's a whole nother ball game when you're trying to come back from 7 as opposed to 14.
Yeah, turnovers are really important, but they're also very cyclical and pretty fluky. It's like sacks. There is a high variance year to year. So trying to match NFL highs and interceptions is a fool's errand. You're not typically going to do it because an old football coach of mine used to say, ball's not round. Like, it just doesn't bounce the same way twice. And, can they be good? I do believe that teaching it and preaching it in practice does make a difference. Teams that have that eye and do it all the time try and force those turnovers, do it more often than teams that don't. But living and dying by turnovers is living and dying by the sword. You're playing with a sharp end. So you need a better base. You have to build the base of the defense. And they've tried to do that in the start of free agency. I think they're going to continue to do it in the draft. You mentioned it, speed, right? Speed all over the defense. It means less gains, means less explosive gains, means guys get to support the run quicker. Again, everybody's got to run to the ball, but if they're all faster, they get there quicker. So they already did that in free agency at the middle linebacker position. They did it at the safety position. I think they're going to continue to do it in the draft. I think it's going to be a common theme. The guys they draft are going to have at least decent to above average wheels, if not top end wheels. And they're just going to build team speed on defense and then continue to preach the turnovers, but be able to get to the ball carrier more quickly.
Man, EJ, great stuff as always, my man. I really appreciate it every time we have you on. Do me a big favor before you go. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, absolutely. You can check out Bootleg Football over on YouTube. We've got tons of draft content pretty much every day. It feels like for the next 2 weeks, at least I've been recording every day. We are going to be live streaming every single pick of the NFL draft on the Bootleg channel. Of course, Bear Era is coming up tomorrow. We've got a live stream with Trevor Sikkema. That's going to be a ton of fun. And then, appearances like this all over the place, podcasts, radios. We're going to do one with Sam and Steve from the 33rd team tomorrow. So it's just nonstop until the NFL draft.
Dude, great stuff, man. Again, I appreciate the time as always. Phenomenal stuff. Great. You see my guys were posing questions. Man, it's awesome. I appreciate what you do because I love football. I don't delve into it as much as you do because I'd rather deal with who's on my team. But I love the work you do, man. I'm grateful that you spend time with us every year to let us know who we should be looking for in the possible Bear draft pick. So thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch soon.
Good to see you, Shawn.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Guys, that's EJ Snyder from the Bear Era podcast and Bootleg. What was this podcast? The Bootleg Football? Yes, Bootleg Football. Great stuff as always. Man, if you didn't get your fill in draft stuff, I don't know what else to tell you. And I don't know what else to tell you, Papa. I don't know what else to tell you. Phenomenal stuff. He gave you great names to remember. So if we get one of those names, you don't say, "Oh, I don't know what is he play?" We've told you. He's telling you what name to watch out for. Who'll be good toward the end of the draft. Who'll be good. Excuse me. At various positions. Great stuff, man. Big fan of his and his work. Again, big shout out to our guy EJ Snyder. From Bootleg Football. Man, good stuff. I'm getting fired up when you talked about Rodriguez being mean. Dude, goosebumps. The hair on my arm stood up because you know me. That was the way I played. That was the way I coached. Like, football is not a contact sport. Football is a collision sport, and you have to play with an edge, an attitude. Because that's the way to win. Because you can neutralize a team that is far superior talent-wise with your physicality. You can neutralize a team. Because what happens, it becomes mental at some point. When you get a reputation, case in point, the 85 Bears, case in point, the 2000 Ravens. You win games before you even step on the field because of the reputation, because you know you're going to get hit. And back then, you did not want to be a wide receiver coming across the middle. You did not. There were no rules protecting you from a Mike Singletary, from a Wilbur Marshall, from an Otis Wilson coming across the middle. There were no rules protecting you. No rules protecting you from a Ray Lewis. If you're a tight end or running a wide receiver running a shallow cross, he was going to hit you. And I like football players who play that way, play with an edge, with an attitude. I love it. Man, oh man, I love it. Yes, you talk about it, Junior. Doug Plank, Gary Fensick, those guys. You did not want to come across the middle against those Bear teams back in the mid-'80s. The Ravens team in the early 2000s. You did not. Bob Sanders from the Colts. You know, there's Todd Bell. That's right. I almost forgot about Todd Bell because he sat out the Super Bowl season, him and Al Harris. Man. Whew. Well, listen. Great stuff. I really appreciate. I want to say 2 hours are coming and gone. I want to thank my guest, Jason Palmer, for coming on, talking WNBA, talking Chicago Sky basketball. A lot of backstories, a lot of craziness going on with that organization. It seems like they've righted the ship and they're heading in the right direction now. Thank goodness. All right, you got rid of Angel Reese, but you substituted that with a great team, a potentially great team, and talented players who are probably playoff bound. So excited about that. And then my guy EJ Snyder, who we just saw, great stuff as always. Big fan of his and the work that he does. Hopefully it got you a little football fix. All right. Listen. On Friday, hope you get more because I have Jacob Infante coming on. We're going to talk to Jacob. On Friday, we have more Bears draft options. All right? So, man, it was a phenomenal show. I want to thank those guys again, Jason Palmer, EJ Snyder. I want to thank you guys, all right, for coming on, for coming in and supporting me like you do. I appreciate it big time. Make sure you get your Sports Zone Chicago swag. Okay? And then I will have I was supposed to have it today and I didn't. That was the one thing that I forgot to do. Son of a biscuit. I'll have the boat party links or either send it via Zelle, PayPal, or Venmo. All right. I'm telling you, this party is going to be off the chain. We were talking about it today. Me and some of the people at the gym, they were fired up like, oh yeah, I got to get my tickets. So it is going to be dope. I'm telling you, get your tickets. I'm going to do that as soon as I get back I'm going to put a sticky note here to create the link, put the links on it, and I'll have it as a flyer on Friday. That I promise you. I dropped the ball the other day. I should have had it for today, but I'll have it then next show. Folks, I got to get out here. Got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. You have a phenomenal day. Let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow is promised to no one. So from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, your boys, we want to wish you a very happy and pleasant hump day. But your boy is out.
Come on, race the race. Get ready.